A sense of incredulity hung over Wednesday's White House press briefing, as if reporters could not really fathom they were covering a story about whether the president's chief of staff had given Donald Trump the okay to use the combat death of his Marine son as a cudgel to smear his predecessor, Barack Obama. John Kelly had not really done that, had he? Reporter Karen Travers tried to get a straight answer. Travers: Sarah, you've brought up politicizing a couple of times, in relation to Congresswoman Wilson. But did the president politicize General Kelly's son's death by bringing it up as a defense for his claims about what past presidents did or did not do with fallen soldiers? Sanders: he was responding to a question and stating a fact. Peter Alexander of NBC: triedALEXANDER. Sarah, did the president speak to his chief of staff, John Kelly, before invoking his son's death in what has become a political argument? Sanders: I know he's spoken to Kelly multiple times yesterday and today. Alexander: on this very topic, in other words, did Kelly know he would be raising the issue of his son's memory when talking about the outreach? Sanders: I'm not sure if he knew of that specific comment, but they had certainly spoken about it, and he's aware. And they've spoken several times since then. So Kelly did know ahead of time, or he didn't know ahead of time, and he's furious. Alexander: so can you to describe how Kelly feels about it? Is he comfortable with the way his son's memory has been? Sanders: I think that Kelly is disgusted by the way that this has been politicized and that the focus has become on the process and not the fact that American lives were lost. I think he's disgusted and frustrated by that. If he has any anger, it's towards that. When in doubt, blame the media for asking the questions about an issue the president himself put out there. It was the go-to move for Wednesday. Sarah Huckabee. Sanders was very confident in her report of how the retired general felt about the invocation of his son's death. What no one asked her, for some reason, was whether it is true, as the Daily Beast reported, that senior White House officials had signed off on this strategy. And if it was true, was Kelly one of those people, and if not, who among those officials thought this was anything other than the least classy move by a White House since Richard Nixon's people were holding Martha Mitchell hostage? Nor did anyone ask her if it was true that she, herself, was the source who planted the story that President Obama had not called Kelly in 2010 when his son was killed in Afghanistan. The fact someone outed her as the background source would suggest it was, and someone in the White House got revenge. Kelly was also invoked to run interference for the president's claim that Rep. Frederica Wilson DFL made up her story about what Trump said in a phone call to the widow of a slain Greenbeard TQ. What proof does President Trump have when he says Congresswoman Wilson is not telling the truth? Are there recordings of his phone call with Myshia Johnson? Sanders: no, but there were several people in the room from the administration that were on the call, including the Chief of Staff, John Kelly. I don't know what Kelly is getting out of this job, but I hope it's worth it. Please note this is a commentary piece. The views and opinions expressed within it are those of the author only and do not necessarily reflect the editorial opinion of IJR.